Amazon is one of the most valuable companies in the world. They dominate e-commerce in America, and their controversial CEO, Jeff Bezos, seems determined to take over the world. But despite record sales, Amazon is still experiencing growing pains. The truth is, Amazon has a huge problem. Amazon started as an online book merchant in 1994 before growing into the business behemoth we know today. It owns numerous companies including Whole Foods, Audible, IMDb, and more. But despite billions in annual sales, Amazon has a few skeletons in its closet. First, there's the glaring issue that was first uncovered by an investigative report from the New York Times. It turns out Amazon sells a shockingly high number of counterfeit items through its Prime and Amazon fulfillment programs. The advocacy group The Counterfeit Report has found around 58,000 knockoff products for sale on Amazon since May 2016. While that's a small sliver of the approximate 560 million products available on the site, it's still troubling. How do you know if you're getting the actual product that you want? Apparently, two people buying the same item from the same seller can get vastly different results, with one person getting an authentic item and the other getting a knockoff. Many brands, like the shoe manufacturer Birkenstock, have cut ties with Amazon altogether. Apple filed a lawsuit against Amazon to stop unauthorized sellers from hawking items identified on the site as authentic Apple products when they were in fact fake. And the problem is severe enough that the government is starting to take notice. If you get a counterfeit pair of sneakers, it's merely an inconvenience. But if you get the wrong dietary supplements or baby food, the results could be dangerous. In April 2020, executives with eBay and Amazon testified before the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Consumer Protection and Commerce about how they're working to sweep up fake and potentially dangerous products before they're sold to their millions of customers. The company representatives emphasized they are willing to work with the government as they step up their various internal efforts. But a bipartisan group of lawmakers questioned whether the platforms are benefiting from legal loopholes and skirting liability as their customers are duped and injured by fake iPhone chargers, children's products, and electronics. The emergence of these unregulated platforms has given criminal enterprises additional means to sell stolen and counterfeit goods to unsuspecting consumers, said Representative Jan Schakowsky. Courts have yet to find Amazon liable for selling counterfeit products on its site because the company has been able to argue that it is a platform for sellers rather than a seller itself. But Amazon did say through a spokesperson that it invests substantial resources into preventing counterfeit products from being sold on its site. In a statement, the company said it has a team available 24/7 to take action on reported violations and has invested significantly in machine learning and automated systems to detect copyright violations. Customers who are not satisfied with the product they receive can get a full refund. Amazon has also joined with brands including Vera Bradley and Otter Products to file lawsuits against companies that try to sell counterfeit goods on its site. According to a vice president at Amazon, every counterfeiter is on notice that they will be held accountable to the maximum extent possible under the law, regardless of where they attempt to sell their counterfeits or where they're located. We are working hard to disrupt and dismantle these criminal networks, and we applaud the law enforcement authorities who are already part of this fight. We urge governments to give these authorities the investigative tools, funding, and resources they need to bring criminal counterfeiters to justice because criminal enforcement, through prosecution and other disruption measures such as freezing assets, is one of the most effective ways to stop them. Despite these measures, Amazon is facing multiple lawsuits from large and small brands that say the company does not do enough to prevent counterfeits from being listed on its website. In 2016, Daimler AG, the parent company of Mercedes-Benz, filed a lawsuit against Amazon in U.S. District Court in Washington state, arguing that Amazon has gained profits by selling wheels that violated Daimler's patents. Consumers trust items listed as shipped from and sold by Amazon.com, Daimler says, and so Amazon should be doing more to detect and deter infringement of patents. It's not a new challenge, nor a small one. A 2017 estimate suggests the global market for counterfeit goods had reached $1.2 trillion, and it takes more than $300 billion worth of revenue away from brands that have to compete with fakes. The US Government of Accountability Office found in 2018 that 2 out of every 5 products purchased online were counterfeit. An estimated 1 out of every 4 US consumers have unknowingly purchased a counterfeit good online, reports the Better Business Bureau. That US consumer didn't necessarily purchase the counterfeit from Amazon, but it's likely as Amazon controls roughly 50% of the online US market. Not only is the e-commerce platform too vast to effectively monitor for fakes, but Amazon is also the biggest e-commerce player by revenue in the world. There are 2 potential solutions for these problems. The first is to streamline Amazon's barcode system so that they are not reliant on third-party merchant barcodes. The way the system currently works, when a customer places an order, Amazon simply fulfills it with any item listed with an appropriate barcode, regardless of the source. The other solution lies in something called Amazon Project Zero. This is a voluntary program that sellers can sign up for, where products can be processed and verified for authenticity. The program is still in its infancy, but it may catch on soon. Then there's the issue that many of its product reviews are actually fake. Amazon watchdog Review Meta suggests around 9% of all Amazon reviews could be written by people who were paid to write a review and did not actually use the product. The Washington Post recently found that in some categories like Bluetooth speakers, more than half of all customer reviews are likely fake. Amazon doesn't deny that fake reviews exist on the site, but it does dispute the numbers and claims it's closer to 1%. Basically, an army of faux reviewers get a small amount of money to write a fake 5-star review for a product, paid for by companies hoping to boost sales. Often the reviewers don't even use the product and are reimbursed for buying it. These reviewers can then make an additional profit by returning it to Amazon or selling the item on eBay or elsewhere. There's also an enormous problem with plagiarism through Amazon's Kindle e-readers. Amazon has long been criticized for plagiarism in its ebook store, particularly among users of its self-publishing platform Kindle Direct. In that case, it's protected by the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which shields third-party platform providers like Amazon from liability so long as they provide a system to receive takedown notices and remove copyright-infringing content. The Atlantic published a feature on the plagiarism problem in 2016, citing instances in which popular works of fiction were tweaked, renamed, and uploaded as original on Kindle Direct, and pointing out that Amazon keeps its portion of any sales that happen before a customer or author complains. Up until 2011, users of that program could upload public domain books ripped from the free ebook library Project Gutenberg and generate profit for themselves and the company. In 2012, Gawker published a report on hundreds and thousands of books that were just compilations of Wikipedia articles. But these issues pale in comparison to the human rights abuses which allegedly go on in Amazon fulfillment centers. Apparently, employees are not allowed bathroom breaks and are forced to work without pause, even if they are pregnant or ill. In fact, in March 2020, New York City began a formal investigation into the potential human rights abuses at fulfillment centers. I've ordered the city's Commission on Human Rights to investigate Amazon immediately to determine if that's true, Mayor Bill de Blasio said. If so, that would be a violation of our city's human rights law and we would act on it immediately. Despite these issues, Amazon still makes almost $300 billion in annual sales. Jeff Bezos' personal net worth recently exceeded $200 billion. Critics were dismayed to see him become the wealthiest individual in human history, while millions of people struggle to get food and basic healthcare. Widening income inequality has fueled efforts to limit the gap by progressive lawmakers, including Senator Bernie Sanders, who this month proposed legislation to tax extreme wealth gains amid the ongoing pandemic. But the fact remains, Amazon continues to do business at unimaginable volumes, and they continue to profit off the counterfeit goods which still plague their site. If you're unhappy with Amazon or worried you might receive a counterfeit product, activists encourage people to buy products from within their own community, supporting their neighbors and keeping their tax dollars local. Only time will tell if Amazon begins to lose some of its legendary brand loyalty.